It's been a while, but I'm back now. And so it's time to see what the two yokai from episode 5 are planning. Now, without further ado, let's get into Ninja Sentai Kakuranger, episode 6, The Eyeball Prince. What made it so obvious? Oh, potato power. Oh, it's the dream sequence, isn't it? Oh, it wasn't just a dream. Alright, I'm calling it. The necklace is cursed. Don't you just hate it when that happens? Oh, does he have a yokai catalog or something? Does that mean he's going to be the next one to get married? We begin our episode with the two yokai from the last episode, Murakabe and Humo discussing how they hope to get revenge on the Kakurangers. Murakabe pulls out a picture of Tsuruhime and explains that he somehow knows that she is the leader and that if she is compromised, then the team will fall apart. Gazing at the picture, Moku Umokurin gets some additional ideas and hatches a plan for them. The two guys do a little dance together and disguise themselves as women. Using a bag of potatoes as fake money, they semi-discreetly rob a jewelry store. Later, Tsuruhime walks through a foggy night, apparently in a trance, and enters a carriage with an extravagantly dressed man that she views as a handsome prince. In a dreamlike fashion, Tsuruhime's clothes change to a ball gown, and the two of them are suddenly dancing at a ball. At the ball, the man gives Tsuruhime a glittering jeweled necklace. Eventually, the clock strikes midnight and Tsuruhime runs away, Cinderella style. When Tsuruhime gets up from her sleeping bag in the morning, she finds that she is still wearing the necklace. Later, the next night, a floating eyeball hits Tsuruhime with a beam and she walks away from her tent in a trance. Jiraiya, being the competent guy in the group, notices and rouses the others. Nurukabe, with help from some Dorodoros, thwarts the male ranger's attempts at following, while Tsuruhime goes off with Mokumokuren in his car, leading into another dream sequence at the ball. This time, the prince figure, who turns out to be a disguised Mokumokuren, I believe played by a woman, gives Tsuruhime a jeweled bracelet. After Tsuruhime's Cinderella exit, we cut to the next morning, with the five Kakurangers gathered around a table examining the jewelry and going over the recent events. They conclude that this must be the work of a yokai that has power over people while they dream. Jiraiya, once again being the resident competent guy, connects the jewels to the theft from the store. We cut to the workday after the Kakurangers have returned the jewels. Tsuruhime spots Mokumokurin in his prince disguise and follows him to a field. She is hit with another of his eye beams, causing her to be pulled back into the illusion that she is dancing with him in a ball gown. However, this time she starts objecting, correctly asserting it to be a mere illusion. When he requests her to marry him, her objections quickly fade away and she signs the marriage contract. After Tsuruhime signed the contract, the illusion falls from her eyes, revealing Mokumo Kurin standing before her in his monster form in a warehouse. With the illusion gone, Tsuruhime returns to rejecting him. After a brief courtroom segment with Nurukabe as the judge and the Dorodoros as the jury and spectators, the Kakurangers fight the yokai. The Kakurangers combine their motorcycles to form a structure that launches Sasuke inside an altered version of his bike. After Nurukabe has been fatally struck down by this ridiculous contraption, Okumokuren grows giant, and the Rangers defeat him with Muteki Shogun. I'm really starting to wonder where the yokais are getting these Dorodoros from. With the earlier ones, it seemed like they were part of big group operations, but now it seems like it's just these two guys doing their own thing without any contact with outside collaborators. And then when it would be really convenient for them to have help, suddenly they've got a big swarm of minions. While most of the stuff in the show is not exactly realistic, this is the first thing I can think of in Kakuranger that I feel really deserves more of an explanation. I really like the motorcycle launcher weapon that they used to finish off Nurikabe. It looks so cool to me, and I love the ludicrousness of it. It feels like such an interesting take on the team canon. I wonder if the designers or writers for Jungle Fury took inspiration from this at all when they were designing Casey's motorcycle and the armor that goes with it. That would fit together well in my mind, especially since in universe, Casey's motorcycle was designed by RJ, and I feel like RJ would fit in Kakuranger by far the most out of all the characters I know of from Gekuranger and Jungle Fury. The gesture that Sasuke does right after killing Nurikabe, combined with the rest in peace line, really makes me think of this image that I recently found on r/Super Sentai. Something that it took me more than a week to notice is that the Kakurangers campsite seems to be in the same place for the entire episode. This is really surprising to me since the episode takes place over a few days with at least 2 nights of sleeping, and since I was under the impression that it is their general mode of operating to randomly wander around Japan, or at least around the island of Honshu, setting up shop, selling crepes each day in whatever location they happened to stop at that morning or the previous night, and then if they deal if they happen to stumble upon a yokai, they deal with it. This detail of their repeated campsite seems to indicate that they're much more stationary than I initially believed. I do not think that this was merely them staying in one place longer because of them staying to deal with Nurikabe and Mokumokuren, since they did not seem to know that there were yokai active in the area until after they went to bed on the second night of Mokumokuren's manipulations. However, although I do not personally find this to be very likely, maybe it could be that they're still in the vicinity of the house that the two yokai were operating out of in the previous episode, and they stuck around in order to tie off the loose ends after Nurikabe fought them and then got away with the help of Mokumokuren. And now I think my next video will probably be something a bit different. A look at the beginning of Gosei Sentai Ranger.